Hey everyone, I'm glad you're here. Today, I have a fascinating story to share with you. It's one of those real-life mysteries that sounds almost impossible to believe. Maybe you've heard about it before, or maybe this will be your first time discovering it. Either way, I think you're going to find this story incredibly interesting. What makes it even more amazing is that this isn't fiction. This actually happened in real life. And to this day, it remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. So sit back, relax, and let's start.
Imagine this. It's the night before Thanksgiving, 1971. A plane is flying through a dark, stormy sky over Washington state. Inside, one man is not panicking. He's calm. He's collected. He's sipping a bourbon. And then he stands up, straps a bag of $200,000 to his body, opens the back door of the plane, and jumps into the darkness, into the storm, into the night. And then, he's gone. No body, no parachute, no fingerprints, no name, just gone. The FBI searched for over 40 years, 800 suspects, 0 answers. This is the story of D.B. Cooper, the only hijacker in American history who was never caught. And the question that still haunts investigators today, was he a genius? Or did he die alone in those dark woods? Let's go back to November 24th, 1971, Portland International Airport, Oregon. A man walks up to the Northwest Orient Airlines ticket counter. He's wearing a dark business suit, a black clip-on tie, a white shirt. He pays cash $20 for a one-way ticket to Seattle. He gives his name as Dan Cooper. Nobody looks twice at him. He's in his mid-40s, average height, average build, dark hair, neatly combed. Just a regular man on a regular flight. He boards Northwest Orient Flight 305 with 36 other passengers. He finds his seat. He orders a drink, bourbon and soda. He sits quietly. He looks out the window, and he waits. The plane takes off at 2:50 in the afternoon. For the first few minutes, everything is normal. But then Dan Cooper does something that changes everything. He leans over, and he hands the flight attendant a note. She almost doesn't read it. She thought it was a phone number. But something made her look, and what she read made her blood run cold. The note said, "Miss, I have a bomb in my briefcase. Sit next to me." The flight attendant sat down. Her hands were shaking. Cooper opened his briefcase just enough for her to see inside. Red cylinders, wires, a battery. She didn't know if it was real, but she wasn't going to take the chance. Cooper spoke quietly, almost politely. He told her exactly what he wanted. $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills. 4 parachutes, 2 main, 2 reserve. A fuel truck waiting in Seattle to refuel the plane. And then he said something that surprised everyone. He said, "No one needs to get hurt." This wasn't a man in a panic. This wasn't a desperate criminal. This man had a plan. The flight attendant passed the message to the pilot. The pilot radioed Seattle, and the authorities faced a choice: negotiate or risk the lives of 36 passengers. They chose to negotiate. The plane circled above Puget Sound for nearly 2 hours while the FBI scrambled to gather the cash and the parachutes. $200,000 in $20 bills. That's 10,000 bills. They photographed every single serial number. By 5:30 in the evening, everything was ready. The plane landed in Seattle. Cooper let all the passengers go, but the crew, they stayed. He had more plans for them. With the money and parachutes now on board, Cooper gave new instructions. Fly south, toward Mexico City. Keep the altitude at 10,000 feet. Keep the speed slow, 150 knots. Leave the landing gear down, and keep the rear staircase deployable. The pilots knew something was coming. The FBI scrambled jets to follow the plane, but they were told to keep their distance. Inside the cabin, Cooper tied the money to his body. He put on one of the parachutes, and then at approximately 8:13 in the evening, something triggered an alert in the cockpit. A pressure change. The rear staircase had been opened. The pilots looked at each other. When they landed in Reno, Nevada, they searched the plane. Dan Cooper was gone. Gone into the darkness. Gone into the storm. Gone into the dense forests of southwestern Washington. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in American history. They named it Operation Norjack, Northwest Hijacking. Hundreds of agents, ground teams, helicopters, search dogs. They searched the forests for weeks. They found nothing. Not a boot print, not a torn piece of clothing, not a single dollar bill. Over the next 5 years, the FBI questioned more than 800 suspects. 800. And they eliminated all but 24. But even those 24 led nowhere. The man called D.B. Cooper had simply vanished. For 9 years, nothing. The case went cold. And then in 1980, an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram was on a family picnic along the banks of the Columbia River in Washington.
He was digging in the sand near the water's edge, and he found something strange. A rotting bundle of $20 bills. His parents thought it was a prank, but when the FBI checked the serial numbers, they matched.
This was D.B. Cooper's money. Exactly $5,800 of it. Decomposed, falling apart, half buried in the sand. But here's the twist that nobody talks about. Scientists later analyzed the way those bills had decomposed, and they discovered something chilling. Those bills were buried in the sand after the hijacking. Not immediately after, months after. Which means someone put them there. Was Cooper alive? Did he hide some of the money and accidentally lose this bundle in the river? Or did someone else find the money first and bury what they couldn't use? Nobody knows. But that discovery changed everything. Because it meant one thing. D.B. Cooper may have survived that jump. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Cooper left something behind on that plane. His tie. A plain black clip-on tie. For decades, it sat in an FBI evidence locker, mostly forgotten. But in 2007, a scientist named Tom Kay got permission to examine it. And what he found was extraordinary. Under a microscope, the tie contained rare metallic particles, titanium, stainless steel, pure silicon. These were not everyday materials in 1971. These were cutting-edge industrial metals, the kind used in aerospace manufacturing, or at a company like Boeing. Cooper knew exactly how planes worked. He knew about the rear staircase. He knew the 727 could fly low and slow. He knew how parachutes functioned. Was D.B. Cooper a Boeing employee? Or someone who worked closely with the aviation industry? And there's one more detail that investigators found deeply unsettling. When Cooper was offered military parachutes, the best available, he refused them. He specifically asked for civilian parachutes. An amateur wouldn't know the difference, but a professional would. This man knew exactly what he was doing. There's something about this story that gets under your skin. Maybe it's because D.B. Cooper didn't hurt anyone. He was polite to the crew. He was calm. He let the passengers go. In a strange way, people rooted for him. Songs were written about him. Movies were made. Bars were named after him. Every year, in the small town of Ariel, Washington, right in his suspected jump zone, people gather for D.B. Cooper Days. They celebrate a man whose real name they don't even know. Was he a desperate man with nothing to lose? Was he a genius who pulled off the perfect crime and lived quietly for decades somewhere? Or is he lying in those dark Washington woods, still holding a bag of money that no one ever found? We don't know. We may never know. And somehow, that's exactly why we can't stop thinking about him. So I want to hear from you. Do you think D.B. Cooper survived that jump?
Or did he die alone in those freezing forests of Washington with $200,000 and no one to tell his story. Drop your theory in the comments below. And if you think you know who he really was, I want to read it, because this case, after 50 years, is still wide open.